So, did the earthquake come out? Yes, it did, Neville says. Everything comes out of the human imagination. These are only pressures built up by man's own wonderful human imagination, and they must be released. They must be released. Here's the good news. Ready? You came here to know imagination. You came here to give life to the lovely, because that's what you are. You are the love, you are the wisdom, you are the power of God. Neville continues, but do not treat it as something you must simply once a week observe, or once a day, or once a year. Every moment of time you observe what you are imagining, because what you are imagining you are creating morning, noon, and night. Ready? Stop giving life to fear. Stop giving life to war. Stop feeling bad for people. Stop feeling scared for them. Because you're not feeling bad for them. You're not feeling scared for them. You're giving life to something fearful. Stop it. There's a reason why Neville taught, and we keep saying, let it be about you. Let it be about your day. Neville says, notice morning, noon, and night. What are you giving life to? What are you imagining? Notice what... I tried to look up this morning. I know there's a war going on. It doesn't thrill me. I remember when the wars were going on in the early 90s. I had friends there. I barely remember Vietnam. I was just a little fellow then. I had relatives there. You know, in Neville's lifetime, I counted up, I went on Wikipedia, how many pandemics, how many epidemics were there in Neville's lifetime? How many wars? You see, we're always going to have war. But you can be the peace. We're always going to have poverty, but you can be the prosperity. You can reveal the richness of life. Neville Goddard said you came here to know imagination. He didn't say you came here to fix all the problems. But as you know imagination, you can imagine lovingly. You can be the blessing. And you can notice, here's what I notice all the time. People tell me it's sort of like something just shifted out of the blue. Something just shifted out of the blue. And I'm talking total strangers that don't know I'm into this tell me stuff like that. And people who are into this, they tell me about how they imagine lovingly for others and suddenly their lives change. Neville Goddard said, you came here to know imagination. That is your divine purpose. You didn't come here to worry. You didn't come here to feel bad. You can, by the way. But I notice when people just sit around and worry, they don't know who they are. They don't know how this works. My aunt called me up one day. It's not hard to get a hold of, well, it's not easy to get a hold of me. Right? When someone lives half a world away, and not many people have my phone number, and my aunt calls me up and she goes, you wouldn't believe what it took for me to call you. I says, hey, I'm glad to hear your voice. What do you got? How you doing? She goes, I'm worried about you too. And I said, we're fine. She says, well, what I see in the news. I says, yeah, you know what? It's in the news. And we're fine. You see, we sit around and we do what we do. We garden, we give, we imagine lovingly. We teach people about this. We share the good stuff. You came here to know imagination. Start knowing it. Start really exploring the truth about you that sets you free, because I can tell you this. Someone out there's going to go, well, that's nice, Mr. 20, but you don't understand. I've been at war. My own little personal wars on health and everything kept me sick as a kid. I was beat to death in 1989 in a prison riot. I was a cop. I know all about war. I also know about peace. I also know about love. And I also know about the peace and the love beyond all understanding that come whenever you really begin noticing more and more who you are and how this works. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to slip. We all slip. Neville even said about the number of times that he missed. Feel free to miss, feel free to slip, but return to your dwelling place. Celebrate noticing whenever you realize, you know what, I've been feeling bad for someone, instead of imagining lovingly for them. I've been feeling bad because of what I saw in the news, instead of giving life to something lovely. Because when you feel bad about something that's in the news, you're giving that to your family. You're giving that to your neighbors. You're giving that to your body. You're giving feeling bad. On the other hand, whenever you notice you feel bad about something, just notice, how can I let it be about me? How can I let it be about me? Because if you are more peaceful, there's more peace in the world. If you're more lovely, there's more love and lovely in the world. When you get the most loving thing you can do is not feel bad for someone, but to imagine lovingly for them. And you find your own ways to do that. I wouldn't suggest trying to stop everything. I've had a lot of very frustrated people over the past 2 years tell me that they've imagined the loogie having gone away and everything returning to normal by Christmas or something like that. And here's the thing, loogies come, loogies go. Wars come, wars go. Neville mentions them, but you'll notice he doesn't get all wound up about them. Because humanity, the wonderful human imagination, keeps imagining up wars and famines and sicknesses and health. And here's the thing, when you're asleep, you're going to do that. When you're asleep, you believe that there's only so much pie, and you do what you can to grab yours. But as you wake up, and as you notice what you are, who you are, how this works, peace prevails. And you can go down the street, and instead of feeling bad for someone, you can imagine lovingly for them. Give them a little more spring in their step. Instead of feeling bad, you see, when my aunt called me up, yeah, I looked at the news for where she lives. And it's like, holy Moses, you guys have like 100 times more COVID than we do. You guys have all kinds of problems. And I'm not feeling bad for her. I imagine her healthy, happy, and having fun. And that's the key, gang. Be the blessing. If you find yourself feeling bad, have a giggle. Realize that's part of your humanity. Because you're 100% human, and you're 100% divine. And as part of that seeming opposite, as part of that paradox, you get to be on the edge. You get to notice, what am I giving life to right now? And imagine lovingly. How would you feel? See, here's the thing, ready? How would I feel knowing that my relatives were okay? You know, I looked at the stats a long time ago, and it's like, oh my God. And I just imagine my mom, my dad, my aunt, that fella I went to school with that's 200 pounds overweight. I just imagine him okay. I imagine him happy. And it's shocking. Absolutely shocking how this stuff can work. That's all I'm going to say. Be the blessing. Bring peace back to your life by being the blessing for everyone else. And remember, you're the spark behind the eyes. You're the light of the world. You're the divine, the wonderful human imagination. Imagine lovingly morning, noon, and night. Give life to your dream-driven day. Go play. Be the blessing. See ya.